Okay, welcome. This video is, sorry about that, this video is about reducing fractions and converting fractions to decimals. So to start, reducing fractions, well, you kind of want to see what goes into both of them. So number one, 10 over 14, you can see they're both even. So we can divide both the top and the bottom number by 2, and that would give us 5 over 7. Now that doesn't go any further, so that's just our final answer. If two numbers are even, I think that's the easiest to go with first, but you also kind of want to see if you can think of anything bigger that goes into them. So when we look at number 2, 75 and 100, well, I recognize that they're both divisible by 25, because I think of quarters, right? There's 3 quarters in $1, and $1 is 100 cents. It's one way to think about it. But 75 divided by 25 is 3, and 100 divided by 25 is 4. So our reduced fraction would be 3/4. Now when I look at number 3, 36 and 60, the first thing that jumps out at me is 6. So I'm going to reduce both of these by 6, and I end up with 6/10. Now, both of those are even, so again, I can do it again. I divide by 2, and my final answer is 3/5. If you had started with 12, you would have gone straight to 3/5, but I took the long way. And there's not a best way, it's however you get there. Number 4, again, they're even. They also do 4. You also could go with 8. So 8 divided by 8 is 1. 64 divided by 8 is 8. In number 5, you see that they both end in a 0. If two things both end in 0, you can cross them out, and that's the same as 15 over 25. Well, they both end in 5. So if I reduce by 5, 15 divided by 5 is 3, 25 divided by 5 is 5, and there's my final answer. In number 6, 11 over 21, they don't share anything. If you think about it, 11 is 1 times 11. That's it. And 21 is 1 times 21, 3 times 7. So you can see they don't share anything when you look at numbers on this side. Top and the bottom, the only thing they share is a 1. And if you divide by 1, you get the same answer. So our final answer is just 11 over 21. In number 7, 7 is a little bit difficult because 17 and 68 are kind of weird numbers. Now in 17, the only thing that goes into 17 is 1 and 17. So you've got to just try 17. And that would give you a 1. And 68 divided by 17 is 4, so that does reduce to 1/4. Number 8, using the 0 trick, cross out zeros top and bottom. And so that easily reduces to 10 over 15. Both of those are divisible by 5. And so my final answer is 2/3. Now let's go on to changing fractions to decimals. So the fraction bar that's cut through the middle here is the same as a division bar. So this is really saying 16 divided by 25, or 16 divided by 25, depending on how you want to write it. So that comes out to be 0.64. And we are going to go ahead and round to the nearest hundredth. So we're going to go 2 decimal places where needed. So in the second one, we would take 106 divided by 50, and we would get 2.12. In number 11, it comes out not so nicely. You get 0.8585, and it continues on. But we want to go to the nearest hundredth. So 5's in the hundred place. I look at the 8. 8 rounds up. So that is going to round to be 0.86. So a little practice on rounding there as well. Number 12, 54 divided by 8, and that gives us 6.75. In 13, this will give you 0.9466, but again we want to round. So nearest hundredth, one place past the 6, 6 rounds up, so this will give us 0.95. In 14 through 16, we've got words. So the first thing I'm going to do is extend. So I know that thousands means 3, so 30,000. Add 3 zeros. 5.2 million. Million is 6, so 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you can change that to a decimal. And if you notice, you can change it to a much simpler fraction first just by chopping off the zeros, and we end up as a 0.0057. Rounded to the nearest hundredth, that's this 0, 5 rounds up, so rounded to the nearest hundredth, you get 0.01. Okay, so let's go million is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, 1,000 is 3, so 25 and then 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Take that answer. Again, we could chop off a 0 if you want, but when you divide, you get 615 and then a bunch of decimals. Round to the nearest hundredth. 4 rounds down, so 615.38. And the last one, million is 6, so we're going to add 6 zeros. Billion is 9, so this 8 is included, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bunches of zeros. And since there are so many, I'm going to go ahead and chop some off. We end up with 4 over 800. That reduces nicely to 0.005. And again, nearest hundredth, 5 rounds up, that rounds to 1/100th. And that is a little review on fractions to decimals and reducing fractions.